Greetings. This is Brother Elias again for another conversation in the greenhouse. I haven't had a basil in a while. So let me get me a big old leaf. How big this leaf is. Ooh. I had the basil for about a year and a half. Lovely and beautiful. And so I had to cut the mic out because I don't like that crazy noise. It would be rude. But at any rate, I got this book called Remarkable Healings, a psychiatrist's discovery of unexpected roots of mental and physical illness. Very interesting. And I'm gonna continue a little bit about cheating and sex and other things that we do. But of course, I want to speed up because my download speed is not good for YouTube. So I'm gonna read a little bit about the age when spirits, entities, possess or attach to people. Just a little bit. Under hypnosis, different humans and demon entities in my patients have claimed to join them at different ages from birth, throughout childhood and adulthood until death. Some entities claim to attach to the patients even in the womb or follow a attach to some patients in more than one life. Now, this is Tony's experience. Tony, an entity in my patient whose body died at the hospital, said that he became confused and wandered around the hospital, not knowing what happened to him. In the nursery, he saw a newborn baby crying. He liked babies and went to confront this baby. Somehow he ended up inside the baby and couldn't get out. That's very interesting. Rob, a 45-year-old patient, has suffered from depression and suicidal thoughts occasionally throughout his life. He remembered being depressed and planning suicide even as a 9-year-old boy. He had attempted suicide twice. He also had a nervous stomach and had nausea and vomiting from time to time since the age of 9. Under hypnosis, he saw inside him a 30-year-old female entity who had been stabbed in the stomach and killed. She joined Rob when he was 9, and afterwards he began to experience her stomach pain problems. He also had a female spirit who committed suicide, and Rob, the suicidal thoughts, and another who died in a car accident. They all claimed to have joined him when he was 9. Wow. After we released these entities to heaven, Rob's lifelong symptoms, including his depression, suicidal thoughts, nervousness, and stomach problems, were relieved. Now, Brian had a spirit of a drug addicted who claimed that he joined Brian when he was experimenting with drugs at the age of 16. He admitted that he gave Brian the desire to use drugs and did not care what happened to Brian physically, emotionally, or financially. Anyway, this is another avenue that we can look at of why we go through certain things in life. And of course, my talks is all about a conversation, just coming up with some new things and just the basic things that we've been doing or talking about for a very long time. Because life, it expands and it contracts and it expands and contracts. So we're in a time of expansion, meaning that we're trying to free ourselves from the basic religious understandings and just little simple things like that, trying to grow into more scientific, awareness and experiment with different things in our particular lifetime. But anyway, when we look at this, there's a lot of people who are going through a lot of depression and a lot of suicidal and a lot of things, and it's amazing. I also have another book The other books speak about demon possession as well. Not quite demon, but spirits and other entities. Um, and it's amazing that these are very professional people. They're not quacks or what have you. So I mean, again, we just need to look at life because life has so many things to throw at us. Because about scrying, oracles, and things like that. So do a little research because I can't really talk about like I wish I could because my time is run out. But anyway, I didn't really get a chance to explain or go into detail about the sexual things and relationships and things like that because sometimes the thoughts get going, but the mouth is not fast enough. But one example that I gave was about the monkeys. One day I was watching a show in the tribe of monkeys. The female monkeys were in heat, so their behinds got big and red. And then the other monkeys, the male monkeys, were, they got excited because their behinds were big and red. So I really didn't go into a little detail what I meant by the monkey scenario in the last video when I was talking about sex. So that was why I was like, yo, that's kind of like us, So when we look at animals and things like that have sex, it tends to, well, for me at least, to diffract me from certain human behaviors, even though it's natural and it's okay. But for me, I just didn't think it was cool, and again, that's my right to have these feelings. But anyway, it was something else that I was talking about. I was talking about how energies and like, say for instance, when a woman get pregnant and a woman wants to naturally by her creation or how she was created, and she want to tend to the child, and the man, some men may, or a lot of men may feel like they can't enjoy her breast or enjoying her like they used to. So during that lack of time of intense connection, because again, I gave an example of water in the glass. And so again, when a woman naturally sees to her child, there's a subtle shift of focus. And again, it's okay. But, if the men out there start working more or find another person to have sex with, these are normal things. If we really look at ancient times, men had a lot of women and vice versa. I mean, it's just that I just hope that we just respect something that's been consistent. We are not doing nothing new. It's been tremendous amount of marriages, royal marriages and things like that they could not really marry, or they wasn't expect to marry to someone they love because it was an obligation and things like that. But we do have a time to change things, and it's okay, and it's an honorable thing to marry via love. Some people say via, but it's via, like vital sign, like a V. But anyway, married for love, that's an amazing thing to have soulmates and twin flames. Soulmate was a time that you met somebody and y'all souls were together, and then they advance and say, oh, we have twin flames, meaning that in the ethers, in the heavens, or in the other side, that we were one soul, and then one soul split into two sexes, and when you meet that person, y'all have that divine thing. These are amazing, honorable things. And I can go into a relationship that can even turn into a solar system. That's how powerful the relationship between a man and woman is. But it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of things. But anyway, so there's a lot of things that we need to pay attention to, because again, we have strong energy, active energy, like we're pushing a car, we lifting weights, or we picking up somebody, or we picking up the glass to drink some alcohol. Or we got this subtle energy like sleep. Like when you are asleep, you're still alive and you're breathing, but you're not as active and your body is still functioning normally. And that's how it works in the universe and existence. So when you're in a relationship and y'all have that first 6 months, first 2 to 3 to 6 months, that energy is there and the passion is there. Y'all talk on the phone and y'all have a lot of things in common. Oh, I wear shoes. Oh, you wear shoes too. It's like everything seems to be in common with you guys. Oh, I drove down the street yesterday. Oh, I was down there at 12 o'clock. Oh, I came by at 1. That energy is totally focused on the opposite person that you're dealing with, and vice versa. But then When a child is born or the jobs or when somebody just get bored or things like that, those energies or any form of depressions or anything can shift that subtle energy. Because again, you have to remember, when you're with that person those first few months, it's like y'all talk almost 24 hours a day. Just remember that. Just really think about that. Y'all talk almost 24 hours a day. Y'all think about the person. Y'all may even have dreams with the person, right? So when you get a little used to them, certain subtleties shift, certain energies shift. And again, you have a connection with that person more than physical. Because again, you feel that person. You can't sleep or eat, without being around that person. The fiery stages. But then those subtle. So what happened is we are somewhat addicted to that full force, because I perceive as the source we come from give us that constant divine loving force. So that's what we expect from a person that's outside of us. And it's okay to expect that because creation created like that. You see what I'm saying? But the problem we have is we ignore these subtle energies, these subtle connections. So if somebody out there, somebody's behind look good, because again, when y'all first got together, he can or she can look at the opposite sex and have no attraction at all. But if you notice through time, like again in the beginning, you can, like, say for instance, a man can look at a woman's butt, but it's not that energy, like, man, what I'm saying, that internal pull, that energy. But in time, those emotions, those energies exchange. And it's amazing how when y'all first start off that y'all have this amazing shield. And excuse me, I love the word amazing, so I say it a lot. And I enjoy it. Amazing, amazing. But anyway, y'all have this shield, right? And this shield is like just you and this person. Y'all actually being your own existence. And you can be in a relationship that when you with somebody and you talking to that person, that there's nothing else exists. You know what I mean? It's like nobody in the house. It's like when somebody get out of jail or something like that, and they've been talking to somebody and writing letters. They can talk to that person on the phone and almost walk home. You know what I mean? So that love is real and it's divine. But if we don't pay attention to that subtle shift, that's when the cheating and the lying and I can't handle the little things that I used to be able to handle. Like the little subtle things, like if somebody leave the seat up, or they are messy, their room or is messy and things like that. These things become a big problem because subtle energies is focusing on other, like babies, bills, money, jobs, trying to improve to other friends. You know what I mean? Or just it's just a normal behavior of somebody just losing interest. Because some people are like that. Some people just don't have it to be consistent. They have to flip and flop and flop and flip. That's their divine right. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in existence. So what I'm saying is that, we have to respect. Because again, there's nothing in the scriptures that say God judged someone for cheating. Because heaven don't give a hoot about someone cheating. Heaven don't give a hoot about marriage. Because people even talk about Quran. The Quran says, your wife is half of your faith. You understand what I'm saying? Your faith here on earth, but not when you go. Because all of a sudden, some people like to talk about the Muslims, talking about you getting all these versions and things like that. So what I'm saying again is this. When somebody is cheating and things like that, it is a behavior. And it takes willpower to not want to. But again, it's not divine. There is nothing in heaven or hell that God or creation sent somebody through internal turmoil, torture, whatever, because they so-called cheated. But you got to respect the subtle energies. Because at the end of the day, when you listen to women, they know some of the things that they consistently done, but they expect it to man to be strong enough to be able to deal with that. But see, again, that was an expectation. And then dealing with this particular culture, there are expectations that we put on generations. That doesn't mean it's divine. That doesn't mean that it's eternal. That means it lasts forever, like thou shalt not murder. You know what I'm saying? Because again, karma is really located to the society that you live in. So if you have a common understanding of running red lights and it's just common, there's no karma in it. You understand what I'm saying? But if you live in a society and they say, well, oh my goodness, when you run this red light, you going to hell, and you got 100 years of people saying that, then it become a karmatic thing, because the universe don't really we are so minute when it comes to existence. I'm sorry. Your God, your religion, everything. Can you imagine if you watch a video of the universe, or our position in the solar system, or our local Milky Way galaxy? Just look at that. Really, look at our position and imagine the creation. You can't even see human beings at all on planets or the planet Earth. But we are important to us. So that's why when we make cars and videos, it's human experience. And that's one thing I do have a little problem with. I'm to that. Not a problem, but I'm growing out of it. So when we look at sex, spiritual man love sex. Very intense sex. Sensitive sex. So please, when these reverends are banging these women and things like that, these women are lonely. They sitting at home meditating on this man. Please stop being so in denial and abusive. You know how to work your magic. Some women look in the mirror for hours before they leave, looking how their butt position, how they stand. This stuff is real, but I'm so sorry. You are accountable for your behavior. And yes, the man do have the ability to say no, but that's his choice not to. And it's your choice not to behave like that or send out that energy. Because the energy is real. You sitting there like, man, look at the reverend. He said such and such. As soon as you're esteemed or you feel good about even that message, it send that subtle energy that I was telling you about. And that's why a lot of kings and rulers have so many children, have so many families. They're not judged. They're judged by their peers according to what the lower classes read. But when you look behind closed doors, most of the upper classes have all types of things going on that they judge the lower class. I mean, look at cocaine and look at the drugs and look at the judges and look at the people. They don't go to jail, but the lower class people suffer. And that's another way the way this life is. So, but the most important thing, again, about cheating and stuff, since you were born in America, since I'm talking to a lot of Americans, or if you're born in another society that have the same concept and that have perpetuated the same concept. Now, you must listen clearly. When you cheat, it is wrong 120%, because it's a common understanding that you shouldn't cheat. Not that heaven says you shouldn't, but what happened is it creates this thing that's called guilt. And guilt was created because it was a belief system, a collective belief system that was consistently perpetuated in your environment. So it's a part of your DNA, your DNA. You understand what I'm saying? So when you do it, you can feel the subtleties. Even the children feel it. They not even in a room with mommy or daddy or whom or whatever we're cheating. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we must respect. We must respect the culture and the belief system that we chose to be a part of. You see what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it. So when you live in a society and they have a belief system, it is behoove you, funny word, to respect it. And if not, disrespect your rewards. Respect divorce, respect the other person to cheat or have stronger emotional feelings. See, I'm covering all grounds. Not all grounds because I don't have enough time. But I hope you guys understand. We live in this particular culture where they say it's one woman, one man and things like that. And maybe later it changed. But if you find people who have the common thread, who believe the same thing without being forced, because it was saying that if a man is forced to believe something, that means he still have the same opinion. I'll try to memorize it soon. I forgot who made it up. But it was a very good quote. We always know. We go towards something that we were told not to touch. Johnny don't touch the bike, so Johnny want to go touch the bike. So if you do have discipline, there is a lovely reward. There is love, because our society said it will be a lovely reward. And you will get it because it's in your psyche. It's in your mind. And a lot of things, again, these demons and entities, we must understand and respect that, yes, I believe a lot of this is true. I believe that a lot of these addictions, a lot of these problems we have and pains we have, because I'm into energy work, and not to go into detail, and that's a shame. That's a shame that entities and energies and people who are afraid to quote unquote go back to heaven with because they're afraid to be judged, kind of make a lot of bad things in our life happen. I think it's abuse, but there's a lot of abuse, like when you have somebody who owns chickens. The chickens can pray all day, but the owners can still do whatever they want to their property. You see what I'm saying? So when we learn how to protect ourselves, and that's why I think some of the Christians spoke about the full armor of God. You know what I mean? The full armor of God. Meaning that you don't be religious, but just really protect yourself, protect your thoughts and things like that, because that's how they say they tell when a person have an entity the person is not rational. You don't have rationals. Like when something happens or something that's rational happen, you do something unrational, like being an alcoholic or doing drugs and doing cheating and all these things. And again, go get the book. Another book I think is called Quiet Death or something like that. But this book is amazing. It have a lot of good information, and that's why I don't believe in try to give everything that I understand, because you have understanding as well. You are that divine, and you do have a right to explore your own consciousness and your belief system and come to your own conclusion, because that will connect to your soul group or wherever you come from. You understand? So again, people, please, if you are in a society that believes in something, make sure you cross all your T's and dot your I's, because most people who are on their deathbed, and most of these people that's in the church, they live the life of fun and pleasure, and then they in a lot of remorse, so end up, becoming a preacher or being a deacon and things like that, and they got all this stuff on their shoulder. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to be like them, you can be like them, but just like a person who smoked crack, we know crack is addictive. Everybody may not be addicted to crack, but the probability is pretty good that you're gonna be addicted if you try crack a few times. So a lot of times we don't have to do things. There are books that's out there that tell us the things that's gonna happen, and if we do it consistently. You see what I'm saying? So just pray and just enjoy yourself. And pray can be a lovely thought, soaking in a tub, looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you're a beautiful and divine being and things like that. Maybe if you get this book, you can learn more about the attached entities and all the problems that they can cause in your life, because they even talk about regressing past lives and reincarnation and things like that. And I believe anything is possible, otherwise it wouldn't be in existence. I believe any and all things are possible. I mean, just you looking at me from this camera 200 years ago, they couldn't imagine or fathom me having the ability to do something like this, especially in the United States. You see, because I can't talk about every other place, you know what I mean? Because I just don't know. I'm not that everybody kind of person, like everybody cheats or everybody this, and because you don't know everybody. I don't know everybody. There's a lot of complex and amazing things here that will blow your mind, and cameras are allowing us to look into these things. But anyway, just enjoy your reward. So if you were a cheater, if you would, do what you need to do what because again, it's hard to control your emotions. That's what an automaton or automaton is. A person who cannot function beyond their emotions. And most of us are automatons or automatons, and we're like leaves in water and leaves in the wind. We go wherever the wind blows. Like on the movie The Wiz says it's red, everybody love red. When Wiz says gold, everybody love gold. That's just reality. Okay? And if you were different, you would have proved it by now, especially if you're over 12 years old. And again, it's your right to be like that. So it's not a judgment thing, but just accept who and what you are. Because again, you are beautiful and amazing. Why you being an automaton or automaton or whatever? You still amazing. Creation is just so amazing, Not to go off in this rant, my plants, I got these things that was going to take away these mosquitoes. There's a citronella, and it's very strong citronella. I have a few of these. We'll make some oils so we can make some natural scent for the mosquitoes. But anyway, because my thoughts are just all over the place. So sorry if I didn't fully explain, but I went a little more detail about, sexual energies and things like that, because sexual energy is real. Human potential is real. So when the pastor and preacher or priest and pope have power, women love men of power. Everybody love men of power. They can be very unattractive physically and have some bad attributes, but some way power pulls people. And there's a lot of responsibility. But most of the people who enjoy the responsibility, they do have a lot of regret and stuff like that. So if you want to enjoy your deathbeds and talk about regrets, go ahead, continue that life that you live. Again, we already know what you're going to do. But if you have enough strength to try to do what your society or what culture you decide to be born in, and to agree with this collective understanding. And in America, there's a collective understanding, that, cheating is and things like that, even though, again, sisters have a lot of things going on with them. But just protect yourself from the subtle energy. Just know the subtle energy is there. Everything is alive and well. You are alive and well. But just, again, respect creation. And at the end of the day, through or maybe each night, like I do, I pray. After I finish praying, I said, forgive me for the things I've done knowingly, evil acts I've done knowingly, and some things that evil acts I've done knowingly, because sometimes we can hurt things or even people and even not even know it. So that's why I believe in mercy and forgiveness and allowing people to be in a space that they can heal. So I know I spoke because this is actually Thursday, because I'm leaving Friday and I'll be back Sunday. So I have enough time to download. So if it takes 20 hours to download on YouTube, so be it. But I hope you all enjoy just a little more about sex energy and demon possession, spirit possession. There's not really like this crazy people out there, but little people that passed on. It can be a grandmother or a grandfather who was used to smoking, and that's why sometimes you'll smell smoke, cigarette smoke, what have you. Like, wait a minute, nobody's in the room with me. So a lot of addictions can be passed on and things like that. I believe it, and maybe next week I think I will go a little more into this next week. So in the other book that I have on it. So again, appreciate your time, appreciate yourself. You are an amazing person. You are an amazing, beautiful human being. Again, there's nothing like you. There is nothing like this existence here locally. I can't speak about other solar systems in the universe, but here I enjoy it to an extent. But I am enjoying some other things as well. So peace and blessings, and thank you, for hanging out with Brother Elias. I know I used to do my little circle thing. The sun is out, so I have a little more energy. You know what I mean? Because, the sun is out, feels good. Got on my little t-shirt. Got my little shorts. I don't know if you can see, but that's why I try to hide. I try to make the camera a little higher. Cause, I'm not into showing myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not. Some people enjoy that. And it's a beautiful thing because the body, is amazing. Especially when a person got it together. You know what I'm saying? They really enjoy it, and others enjoy looking, men and female. So love yourself. The divine is here. You are divine. We can't escape being divine. Divine is always present, even in things that do not appear to be divine. But you have to remember, if you believe in divine is the creation of all things, it created bad and good. It's just that we do not interpret it according to what divine interpret things. Like a little baby. A little baby want to touch that beautiful light. You smack the baby's hand or pull the baby's hand away from that light. The baby cry. But when the baby get old enough, the baby understand the reason why you pull his and her hand away from that fire, that flame. So the baby had the vision to see the yellow light and the spark, but it didn't comprehend at that level that it was a fire and it can burn his or her hand. So again, a lot of things is how we interpret things. So if you're around people who interpret something in a situation, you got to respect their responsibility or their obligation to their interpretations on scenarios. So if you want to do otherwise, like cheating, stuff like that, and they interpret it as cheating and they send out the energy of sad and pain and suffering, it's going to come your way, guaranteed. And again, you make them protect yourself now, but it will get you when you get older, when you apologizing to the children and the grandchildren. You may have more than one woman pregnant at the same time. A scenario. It's nothing new. Nothing new under the sun. All right, peace and blessings. This is Brother Elias. Peace. Sorry. And my Bob Ross. Wait a minute, is it Bob Ross? And I promise I was gonna remember the other guy's name. The other guy, Bob Ross, and my neighbor. Well, again, peace. I've been on too long. All right, peace and blessings, and